The screech of tires and the sharp sting of humiliation cut through the air as Mary Kennedy stumbled out of the sleek car dealership, her husband John's hand gripping hers tightly, his face a mask of shock and rage. The liberal managers, words still echoed in her ears. "We don't serve your kind here." A venomous dismissal that had left her trembling, not just from the cold August wind, but from the raw injustice of it all. John, a hard-working mechanic with calloused hands and a heart of gold, had saved for months to surprise Mary with a test drive of a Rolls-Royce, a dream they'd nurtured since their early days of struggle. But now, as they stood on the curb, the dream lay shattered, replaced by a bitter taste of rejection that threatened to break their spirits. Little did they know, the next day would bring a twist that would change everything. Mary and John Kennedy had built their life together on resilience. Married for 25 years, they'd weathered layoffs, medical bills, and the loss of their firstborn son to a rare illness. John's shop, Kennedy's Auto Repair, was their lifeline, a modest garage where he fixed cars with the same care he gave his family. Mary, a former nurse turned homemaker, managed their finances with a B, meticulous love, clipping coupons and stretching every dollar. Their two surviving children, Emma and Liam, had grown up hearing stories of their parents' sacrifices, and the Rolls-Royce had become a symbol, a testament to their unyielding hope. John had planned the dealership visit as a celebration, a rare moment of indulgence after landing a big contract to service a fleet of luxury cars. But the manager, a sharply dressed man named Victor, had taken one look at John's worn jeans and Mary's simple dress and decided they didn't belong. The rejection stung deeper because of Mary's quiet dignity. She'd always been the steady one, the one who held John together when grief threatened to drown him after their son's death. That day at the dealership, she'd tried to smile through the manager's sneers, hoping to diffuse the tension. But when Victor's voice rose, calling her too conservative for his upscale establishment, something snapped inside her. John's face flushed red as he demanded an apology, but Victor only doubled down, ordering security to escort them out. The humiliation was public, witnessed by other customers who averted their eyes, leaving Mary to feel like a pariah in her own town. As they drove home in their old pickup truck, the silence between them was heavy with unspoken pain. John muttered about fighting back, but Mary, tears streaking her cheeks, whispered, "Let it go, John. We don't need their world." That night, sleep eluded them. Mary sat by the kitchen table staring at the faded photo of their son, while John paced, his mind racing with anger and helplessness. Emma, now a college student, called to check in, sensing the tension in her mother's voice. When Mary recounted the story, Emma's outrage fueled a spark of action. "Dad, you should post about it," she suggested. "People need to know how they treated you." Reluctantly, John agreed, crafting a simple post on social media about the incident, his words raw and honest. "My wife and I were kicked out of a dealership for being too conservative. All we wanted was a dream. Now we're left with nothing but pride." He didn't expect much, just a vent for his frustration, but the post went viral overnight. By morning, the dealership's phone lines were jammed with complaints. Local news picked up the story, framing it as a tale of small-town values versus corporate arrogance. Victor's smug demeanor crumbled as his bosses demanded an explanation, but the real surprise came later that day. A sleek black Rolls-Royce pulled into the Kennedy's driveway, its chrome glinting in the sunlight. Out stepped a man in a tailored suit, not from the dealership but from Rolls-Royce corporate headquarters. "Mr. Kennedy," he said, extending a hand, "we've heard about your experience. We'd like to make it right." John and Mary exchanged bewildered glances as the man explained. The company, moved by John's post and the outpouring of support, had decided to gift them a fully restored Rolls-Royce, on the condition that John service it himself, a nod to his expertise. The gesture was overwhelming. Mary's hands shook as she ran her fingers over the leather seats, tears of joy replacing the ones of sorrow from the day before. John, ever the pragmatist, hesitated, worried about the cost of maintaining such a car, but the man assured them it came with a maintenance package, free for life. The community rallied too, with neighbors bringing casseroles and well wishes, turning the Kennedy home into a hub of support. Emma and Liam, home for the weekend, marveled at the car, their pride in their parents swelling. Even Victor called, his voice sheepish, offering a public apology that John graciously accepted, though he knew the damage was already mended by kinder hands. The resolution didn't erase the pain of the initial rejection, but it transformed it. John and Mary hosted a small celebration, inviting friends and even some of the dealership staff who'd shown them kindness. The Rolls-Royce became more than a car. It was a symbol of their resilience, a reminder that goodness could prevail over prejudice. John continued his work at the garage, now with a new contract from Rolls-Royce, while Mary started a blog to share their story, connecting with others who'd faced similar injustices. The experience taught them that vulnerability could spark strength, and that community, not corporations, held the real power to heal. As the sun set on that transformative week, John and Mary stood by the Rolls-Royce, hand in hand, watching. Their children laugh in the yard. "We didn't need their approval," Mary said softly. "We had each other all along." John nodded, his eyes misty. "And now, we've got a little more." The story of their rise from humiliation to triumph spread, inspiring others to stand tall against adversity. It was a message of hope that, even in the face of rejection, love, perseverance, and a touch of unexpected grace could build a legacy far grander than any luxury car.